Right, will I know? Well, namaste everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to have um, all of you this Sunday. As you know, my name is Ashutosh, and we meet every Sunday, 8 a.m. US Pacific time, which is time on the California region, to learn about the Hindi language. For those of you who are completely new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Hindi University, where you can find all the prior videos. And for those of you who are interested in joining the live classes that we have, you can get all the details on this page, which is tiny.cc/Hindi University. Since we enrolled a lot of people this year, I request all of you to check out this page and make sure you're familiar with everything that we have on this page here. It will give you the links to join the Sunday classes. In the second page, you will see, in addition to the Hindi classes, we have some of our existing students and advanced learners. They decided to help out, and they decided to start the practice groups. So in addition to the Sunday classes, we have various practice groups as well, and so you can benefit from the practice sessions as well in case if the timing for the Sunday classes they do not work out for you. Okay, the criteria is pretty simple. I just want to make sure that we can see you in the Sunday class at least once. And once you're in the Sunday class, you're welcome to directly join the practice sessions. That's not a problem at all. I just want to make sure that we get to know you, right? And we get to understand your like objectives in terms of learning Hindi, so we can facilitate the best practice group for you. Okay. So I definitely encourage you to check out this page. Okay. We have a WhatsApp group for all the practice groups, but again, as I suggested, like we want to see you in the Hindi class at least once, so that way once you're part of the Hindi University WhatsApp group, and once we know your level, we will place you into the appropriate WhatsApp group that we have. Okay. With that being said, as you know, in the last year we covered Usha Jain's Advanced Hindi Grammar book. This year the intent is that we will do two parallel tracks for Hindi beginners, and then similarly for the intermediate and advanced. So how do we do that? My goal is for the Hindi beginners, this year we will do two books, a blend of two books. First one is Pingu Learns Hindi, and the second one is Professor Robert DeLacy's book. And you can find the link of all these books in this page. If you're not able to find it, I'll make sure I'll add it there. Okay, so you can find the link of all these books on this page, tiny.cc. For the intermediate and advanced, it will be sort of a blended curriculum, because we have students from all sort of levels. So I'll be using the reference material from Professor Usha Jain's book, from Professor Rupert Snell books, and some of the other books that we have. So I'll be covering all of those. The idea is to kind of like challenge the intermediate advanced students and get them more into the presentation mode, where they feel open talking about any given topics. So throughout the sessions, you will see some of the intermediate advanced students that are motivated to give a talk or a small commentary on a certain topic, because that way at least you'll get to hear the practice as well. Okay. Any questions so far on the curriculum before I move on? Any sort of like administrative related questions? I'm happy to answer. You guys have questions? No questions? Okay, no worries. You can post also on Zoom chat. If you feel more comfortable asking the question through Zoom chat, and we'll make sure I review them. Okay. All right. So let's get started. So before I dig deeper into the Hindi topics, I want to start with the language classification, and it will help you in terms of your Hindi journey, right? Hindi language classification. So when we talk about languages, linguists have classified languages in many ways. Okay, I like the very simple classification, which is basically you have languages which fall in the SVO category and languages which fall under SOV category. And about 90 to 95% of the languages they are either SVO or SOV languages. There are definitely more languages which follow the other pattern, but these are the two high level classification you will see. What do I mean by that? In a very simple terms, languages that follow subject, verb, and object. When you write the sentence structure, you have a subject which is followed by verb, which is followed by an object. Okay. Similarly, languages that fall under SOV category, we have a subject followed by an object,
Yeah.
followed by the verb. Okay. So those are, this is 1 minute. Okay. So those are the two. Now, what do I mean by that? Right. So take an example of simple sentence. Right. You have I eat an apple. You have a subject or the doer that is performing the action, right? Then you have what action is being performed, okay, which is eat, like subject, or maybe you can call it Ashu. Ashu eats an apple. Subject that is doing the action, verb, on the object, apple, right? Very simple. You have English that falls under the SVO category. That's basically subject, verb, and object. Same thing if you were to write in Hindi, it's not going to follow the exact same pattern. You will write something like subject I, and then you have an apple, and then you have basically eat. Okay, and the way you will write it in Hindi is मैं apple खाता हूँ. Okay, don't worry about what I wrote in Hindi right as of now. Try to understand that that there is a fundamental difference that is going on. Okay, and that's one of the reason I recommend, as you march into this journey, whatever your base language may be or your mother tongue may be, it may be SVO, it may be SOV, but that's why when you try to think in your base language or your mother tongue and try to translate it, it can often be challenging because your mind is forcing you to go to your comfort zone consciously or subconsciously, and you're trying to translate it. Okay, sometimes it may work, sometimes it may confuse you, like what is going on, why is it happening like this, right? So I may do a small quiz here. Write down your base language, your mother tongue, and tell me whether it is SVO or SOV. Okay, and I'm gonna give you some examples here, but I want to hear what you guys say. So almost majority of the Indian languages, like the Indo-Iranian languages, they fall under the SOV category. Similarly, the languages that are spoken in the southern part of India, the Dravidian languages, they also fall under the SOV category, where you have a subject followed by an object followed by the verb. Okay, some of the other examples are, let's see, Uni, what do you think? Korean and Japanese, are they SOV or SVO?
SOV.
SOV.
Yeah, so you have Japanese and Korean. Any other language you can think of? Huh?
Mongolian?
Mongolian, okay. Mongolian is also SOV.
Yeah, they're all related thing.
Okay, awesome.
Mandarin too, it's SOV.
Mandarin is also SOV. Amazing. Okay, awesome. Anyone else?
No, I think Mandarin is mainly SVO.
So it's interesting because it follows, when I was reading about Mandarin, like, it follows grammatically, it may follow certain structure. And when you're talking about it, colloquially, it may follow certain structure.
Okay.
That's what I at least understood it, right? Hindi, by the way, even though formally it follows SOV, it gives you a lot of flexibility. Unlike English, like you cannot say eat I an apple, or you cannot change the orders, but Hindi gives you a lot more flexibility, and we will learn about it as we go along. Okay, now switch back. SVO. What are some of the examples you guys can think of other than English?
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Okay, Portuguese. Okay.
German.
German. Very good. German.
I wouldn't say German 100% because German is also mixed.
It's mixed. Okay.
It's mixed.
Okay.
Italian and Spanish.
Italian, very good. Italian.
And French.
Awesome. Italian, Spanish, and French. Awesome. Right. So as I said, like 90 to 95% of the languages, if you combine all of them, like they're like SVO or SOV category. There are some ancient languages, like that gives you even a lot more flexibility, where you may have the object in the beginning and subject at the last. Very interesting to think about it. Okay, so that's the high level classification, and I want you to know about it. It helps us, like and throughout the sessions, as we learn about the grammatical topics, I will make sure that you have this pattern in front of you. So where do we put the adjectives, adverbs, similarly some other grammatical constructs, direct object, indirect object, I'm gonna continue to tell you, but as of now, just remember Hindi is subject, object, and verb. Okay, let me keep going. I hope this is clear. Now, what are some of the other characteristics? Okay, why we learn about it? What are some of the other things that's important to know? I may request everyone to mute.
Ashu Ji,
Yeah, go for it.
some language uses both.
That is correct.
For example, you have Sanskrit use, you can put the word in any formation.
Yeah. So the comment from Vivekanand ji is that some languages, Sanskrit can follow both the patterns. This is amazing. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you some more properties of these languages. Okay, so you have here again, I'm going to write down this now, SOV here and SVO. So typically in English, when we talk about some of the grammatical construct, you will say let's say I'm in Delhi, okay, or I am at the hospital. Okay, you will notice that N is coming before the noun here. Similarly, at the hospital is coming, at the is coming before the noun here as well. And we call these like preposition. So all the SVO languages, they have prepositions, okay? Versus the SOV languages, they have postpositions. So when I have in Delhi, in Hindi, it would be Delhi mein. Okay, or let's say you are in theater or movie theater, you will say main movie theater mein hoon. So you see this Hindi grammatical construct that you have, it's coming after the noun here. So that's another fundamental difference you will notice as you are switching from your mother tongue or native language to Hindi. Okay, that's another important thing that you should know. Third one is, it's a funny one, but it's also interesting one, right? SVO languages, the title often comes before the name, like you have Mr. John or Uncle Sam or Aunt Mary, let's say, right? You have the thing that you're using to honor the person, followed by the name. Versus the SOV languages, like in Hindi, you will say John Bhai or John Uncle or Mira Auntie, or something else, like you have Reena Mossi, which is mom's sister, Reena Mossi. Okay, versus like in English, you will say Aunt Reena. Okay, and you guys, I'm going to keep it open. You guys have any comments, feel free to share that or ask any questions. So, I mean, there are 3 or 4 key things like that are pretty easy. Like there are more, but at least at this time, I want to at least share these 3 sort of key differentiation, if I will, on SVO versus SOV languages. I'll take a pause in case if you guys have any questions or reflection that you want to share. Okay. I didn't read it, but American Sign Languages, it's also SVO. Greek is SVO. Scottish is VSO. That's amazing. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions, comments, or reflection? Feel free. This is your opportunity. Right. So I hope this is clear, the high level classification. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start with the beginner section once we have done it, right? So just like that, I'm going to erase it. So some of the topic, as I said, like, because this is the sort of the one of the earlier classes, you will see some basic stuff, which is by design, because I want all of you to be comfortable, right? So I'm going to give you one pattern and we'll try to practice that pattern. Okay. So one of the pattern, like, Professor Rupert Delacy doesn't cover it in the first chapter. So I'm going to cover two patterns that he gives as well. Right. So very first thing that you will see, just think about again, SOV. Okay. And that I want to cover is मैं, which is you have your personal pronoun, which is I. Okay. And in English, you will have am, which is your auxiliary verb. In Hindi, basically it is known as hoon. Okay, so you have a her with oo and then nasalized sound. Main hoon. Okay, I am. So if I want all of you to practice that. Okay, and I know all of you are muted, but as I'm writing it, try to say it loud. Okay, so at least you get that confidence. So if this is my very first time I'm getting this session on Hindi and I don't know anything about it. Just with this pattern, I can just introduce myself. How? I can say I am Ashu. Okay. How will I say that? Let's say Lian, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, मैं लियन हूँ.
मैं Lian हूँ. Amazing. Okay. And next thing you can say is मैं. So you want to talk about where you are from. I mean, there are many ways to say that, but the very easy thing is like I am Indian. Okay. So I'm going to say मैं Indian हूँ, but Lian, how would you say that?
मैं Indian हूँ.
Okay.
Is that
For
what
your
you-
case,
is that
you
what
can
you-
say. Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So what will you say in your case? मैं लियान हूँ, मैं ऑस्ट्रेलियन हूँ.
Oh, I see. Okay, yes, sorry. मैं लियन हूँ, मैं Australian हूँ.
Very good, right?
So we don't say si hूँ, or we do. You can do both ways.
You can do it both ways.
Or-
Right now, I want to cover just one pattern. Like with the
Okay.
very minimal Hindi, you should be able to introduce yourself, right? If you want to use a post position, which we'll be learning about that post position as well. If you want to say I am from Australia as opposed to I am Australian, like right now
Yes.
you are saying I am Australian as opposed to I am from Australia. Okay.
Okay.
You can say it both ways, just like in English, right? So, but
Yes.
let's say you don't know too many patterns and you just want to get started with the known things. What are the possibilities? That's what we're exploring. Okay.
Yep.
I'm right now, she's helping me, but I'm going to switch. I have the habit of putting people on spot. So, bear with me. Right after Lian is done, I'm going to just randomly ask some of you to give your introduction in Hindi. Okay. And that'll be fun and don't limit it to what I'm doing. I want you to think about what else you can say with I am pattern. Okay. Let's say Lian, and again, don't worry about using English words here. Let's say you are a runner. Okay. You like to run or you like to jog. Okay. Or you are a dancer. Like in English, you will say I'm a dancer or runner. So pick any of the hobby that you have, that you want to introduce, that you want people to know in the very first time they meet you. What will you say?
Crochet hoon.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So I mean, maybe we have to find like a term for people who like to do, crochet, right? Maybe you can say मैं crochet fan हूँ, okay? Because
Okay.
like anyone can be a fan of doing crochet, right? So that's a good one. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Let's do some more. Let's talk about profession. Like, I can say I am an engineer,
Okay.
right? So I can say मैं इंजीनियर हूँ, और मैं बिजनेसमैन हूँ, और मैं बिजनेस वुमन हूँ, और मैं राइटर हूँ. Can you think about something?
Yes. मैं retired registered nurse हूँ.
Very good. मैं retired registered nurse हूँ. Amazing. So you
Yeah.
see that pattern is still the same. मैं हूँ. You are just giving it a flavor, right?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's talk some more. What about your preferences? So in my case, I can say I am vegetarian. Okay. I can say मैं vegetarian हूँ. Okay. Or I can say, if I am belonging to a particular ideology, I can say that as well, right? Or so that's also an option. मैं vegan हूँ, or मैं Buddhist हूँ, or anything like that, right? So you can give your food preferences as well, just with this pattern. Okay.
I-
Vivekananda home.
Yes, go for it.
Or
Why don't you start now?
my engineer home.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Keep going, विवेकानंद जी. So मैं विवेकानंद हूँ, मैं इंजीनियर हूँ, और बोलो.
Or my vegetarian home.
मैं vegetarian हूँ. Okay. You can talk about your profession as well. You already mentioned that.
Yes.
But if you have any interest, let's say you are a runner, or anything, basically writer, author, you can share that as well. Okay. Let's see some more. Melissa, you want to go now? I know this is your first class, but hey, what other ways? Like, this is the best way to welcome you.
So मैं मलिसा हूँ.
Louder, मैं Melissa हूँ.
मैं एक window cleaner हूँ.
Which one?
और
Okay.
window cleaner. Window
Okay.
cleaner. और मैं non-vegetarian.
मैं non-vegetarian. Awesome. There you go. Amazing, right? So let's do some more. Okay, because yeah, go ahead. Okay. So I'm gonna ask. So while I may be asking question to like certain people, but I want you to all to think about what other things you can say. Okay, that's the best way to do it. You can write it. You can type it in the Zoom chat, and and I'm surely gonna call your name as well. Okay, knitter. I think that's a good one. Natalia ji shared. Okay. Right. So what other things you can talk about your mood as well. Okay, you can talk about your mood. So let's say I put you on spot and you may be like, I am nervous. Okay, मैं nervous हूँ. Like right now, I don't expect you to know how to say nervous in Hindi. Okay, you can just say मैं nervous हूँ. Some of you are excited, you can just say मैं excited हूँ. Okay, some of you may be upset, like why is he not calling my name? So मैं upset हूँ. Okay, you can say that as well, right? I mean, anything, any mood you may have, right? Some of you are like, it's good, my name is not being called, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. Okay, I mean, again, like here the intent is just to show you the possibility. Just with I am, you should be in a position to introduce yourself. Okay, and you should be able to express yourself. Okay, you can talk about your health. Okay, such as like, so have these categories in your mind, so at least you should feel comfortable, right? So you can say I'm healthy. I'm healthy. In Hindi you'd say मैं स्वस्थ हूँ और मैं healthy हूँ. Okay, if you are not, you can say मैं healthy नहीं हूँ और मैं sick हूँ. Okay, और मैं बीमार हूँ, as you learn about the vocabulary, right? I'm sick, I'm healthy. Okay, you can talk about the like, for example, your physical things as well. Like, for example, some people can say I'm tall or I'm short, or you can say, just like you're saying it in English, you can use this pattern also to express about yourself. Okay. I know I spoke a lot. Okay, I'm going to take a small pause here, and I'm going to see what other possibilities you can think of. Okay, other than what I have shared here. If you have something in mind, please unmute yourself and share it. Or you can write in chat also. मैं एक विद्यार्थी हूँ, very good, Sarah. Which is मैं student हूँ. Okay, मैं खुश हूँ, amazing. Give me 1 minute. Which is मैं student हूँ. Anyone else can think of any other? Okay, मैं हिंदी सीख रही हूँ, amazing, Naniska ji. I'm learning Hindi. You added a verb as well, amazing. Keith, you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself with this pattern?
Make it home, may Malaysian.
मैं कीथ हूँ, मैं मलेशियन हूँ. ओके, और बोलो.
मैं बहुत हैप्पी हूँ.
मैं बहुत हैप्पी हूँ. ओके, क्या आप स्टूडेंट हैं?
मैं स्टूडेंट है. मैं स्टूडेंट हूँ.
ओके, मैं स्टूडेंट हूँ. ओके, अमेजिंग. व्हाट अदर थिंग्स? You already mentioned मैं खुश हूँ और मैं हैप्पी हूँ. Awesome. Thank you so much, Keith. Let's say, मीरा जी, how are you doing?
मैं बहुत अच्छी हूँ.
मैं बहुत अच्छी हूँ. Amazing. Anyone else would like to introduce themselves? Teresa ji, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. मैं Teresa home. मैं English मैं mother
Mother who? Okay, very good. मैं mother हूँ. That's amazing. I'm a mother. So you can talk about your relationship as well. So I'm a mother, father, brother. Amazing. Yes, Teresa ji, keep going.
I'm going to say, I don't know if I'm saying this one right. मैं शाकाहारी हूँ.
Very good. मैं शाकाहारी हूँ. That's right. मैं vegetarian हूँ. You can say that. मैं शाकाहारी हूँ. Okay.
मैं योगी हूँ.
मैं
योगी हूँ.
मैं योगी हूँ. Amazing. That's amazing. Okay. Anyone else would like to introduce themselves with this pattern? You can raise your hand if you feel comfortable, or you can unmute yourself. Yeah, go for it, Natalia ji.
नमस्ते, मैं नतालिया हूँ. मैं कोलंबियन हूँ. मैं बहुत प्रसन्न हूँ.
मैं बहुत प्रसन्न हूँ. Amazing. Uni, you want to go next?
मैं कोरियाई हूँ. मैं मांसाहारी हूँ.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Uni. Ritu ji.
Okay. नमस्ते सब. मैं रितु हूँ. मैं अंग्रेजी हूँ, लेकिन मेरी मम्मी और पापा हिंदुस्तानी हैं. मैं अध्यापक हूँ और मैं लियो हूँ. और मैं ठीक ठाक हूँ.
Okay, amazing. मैं ठीक ठाक हूँ. All right, amazing. Thank you. Tiffany ji.
नमस्ते. मैं टिफनी हूँ. मैं एक माँ हूँ. मैं मांसाहारी हूँ. There we go. That's all.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So you see that, right? I mean, that's the whole point, that, whatever level of Hindi you know, in the very first meeting, you should be able to say it, right? Even if you don't know certain things, you should be able to say that as well. And we will learn it in shortly after that as well. Okay. So this is the मैं हूँ pattern. Okay. My homework to you Okay, and I may randomly pick people to show their homework in, not like in writing, but in the class. So my homework to all of you is using this मैं हूँ pattern. I want all of you to, write at least 10 to 15 sentences, different sentences about yourself. Okay, that should basically come right away from from you. Like it should become your muscle memory basically. So if you want to introduce yourself, you should be able to just go with the flow. Okay, I may put you on the spot. So 10 to 15 sentences using मैं हूँ. Okay, there are other ways to say it as well, but right now I want you to master this pattern. Okay, for those of you, I'm thinking about you, Vivekanand ji, are good with Devanagari. Okay, I want you to write the same thing in Devanagari script. You already know how to write मैं and whom. All you have to do is like figure out the one in between. Okay, I hope you are all comfortable. Give me a quick thumbs up, if you feel okay with this homework. But I want to make sure at least you are all challenged to do more than what we covered. Okay, if no questions, I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to go over. It's 8:33, so I want to respect the time and I want to keep going, and I want to give you two more patterns that are there in the Richard DeLacy's book that we are covering. Okay, Richard DeLacy says, like, as you're learning Hindi, you need to know some interrogatives, Hindi interrogatives. Okay, and 1 minute, and I'm gonna cover the interrogative that Professor Richard DeLacy is covering. Okay, and he says, like, you should be able to ask questions in the very beginning of your Hindi language journey. And he says, like, in Hindi, the very common interrogative is kya. You write it in Hindi half ka and then ya and a, kya, which means what. Okay, very common one, right? But he has a point, like, he has a point, like, as you're learning things, the natural tendency of a child is to inquire, and they will point finger and they'll say, what is this? What is this? Okay, what you already know is kya. Okay, this is yeh, and is an auxiliary verb in Hindi, which is basically hai. Okay, and as you know, the word order in Hindi is basically SOV, so you will say yeh kya hai. Yeh kya hai. You write it in Devanagari as yeh kya hai. Yeh kya hai. Okay, a very simple pattern, but it's a very simple one. It's a very important one. Yeh kya hai? What is this? Similarly, okay, if you have to say what is that, okay, it will only change will be, let's say, Anna ji, what do you think the change will be?
वो क्या है?
Very good, right? So you say वह क्या है, and as Anna mentioned, even though in formal Hindi you're writing yeh and vah, colloquially people will say ye and wo. It's the same thing, just like your day-to-day conversational Hindi, it's always takes over the academic one. Like what you're writing, it's important, but usually the day-to-day colloquial, somehow it takes precedence over the writing one, because that's what people are you're hearing it more and more, right? So yeh kya hai is what is this, vah kya hai is what is that. Okay, any questions, anyone so far? I know I want to make sure I'm not going too fast.
Ashu Ji,
Yeah,
if we say kya ye hai,
very good.
is it okay? Or does it make any sense?
It is, but it changes. So typically, so I'm gonna erase it. Okay. So why don't I come to your answers in a minute? Before that, just like remember, yeh kya hai or vah kya hai. Okay, those are the two patterns. I hope all you were able to write it down. And DeLacy covers it in the first chapter as well, so it's a very valid time that you ask this question. So why don't you help me here? How will you answer that? If I were to ask you, यह क्या है? How will you answer that? If I point an object to you, I couldn't get your name when you were asking the question. If I were to put, kya in the beginning, was it Keith or someone else who asked the question?
Yeah, me, Keith.
Keith?
That would
Okay.
just be, is it, that's a
Yeah.
yes
So
or
if I
no.
were to point this thing to you, it's a paper. यह क्या है? How will you answer?
Yeah, paper है.
Very good. यह paper है.
Yeah.
Okay. यह paper है. Show some object to me and use this pattern. यह paper है. यह, I can say this thing to यह pen है. This is pen. Okay. What else? यह whiteboard है. यह whiteboard है. Anything else that you can think of?
यह पुस्तक है.
यह पुस्तक है. Very good. Very good. यह book है और यह पुस्तक है. Anyone else? Something that is close to the subject, you use yeh. Something is close to the person that you're speaking with, you will say veh. That, right? This versus that. Okay, Milika ji, go for it. I think Milika ji, you are raising your hand. Go for it.
Sorry, I didn't unmute. I continue to be very confused with the colloquial versus the academic, this and that.
Yeah.
And can you just say it once again and then tell me, in class you're going to be using the academic, right?
That's right.
But when we speak like in a chat group or when we speak to people, we should use the colloquial.
I mean, you should feel what you're comfortable with, honestly. Don't get, puzzled by why somebody is, if some people are using wo, you should immediately know that they are focusing more on the colloquial part.
So wo is this.
Wo, no. So yeh is this. Wo is that.
Wo is that.
Why don't you help me with some sentences? Maybe that will give you confidence. Give me 2 sentences for yeh, and you can say the same sentences with ye as well. And then give me 2 sentences with wo.
Ye hai kya hai or ye kya hai.
Very good. So let me ask you, ye kya hai? Is
ye eraser hai.
Very good. Ye eraser
or yeh eraser hai.
Okay. What about it's a small jigsaw puzzle? Ye kya hai?
Vah kya hai or wo kya hai? Wo jigsaw puzzle hai.
Very good.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
There you go, right? I'm just randomly picking things. What is?
That's fine.
I'm saying in my desk, but hopefully it makes sense, right? Anyone else would like to try these patterns? Yeh and vah. Like, same thing. If you are showing me and asking me wo kya hai, I'm going to say wo paper hai. Okay, that is a paper or that is a pen. Wo pen hai, wo whiteboard hai, wo book hai. Okay. Anyone else?
I have a query here.
Yeah.
When you say ye pustak hai, I'm talking about something near to me.
Yes, right. That's right.
When I say wo pustak hai, I'm talking to something away from me. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I'm going to write it down just so that everyone is clear. So the comment is basically if you are using this, just like in English, if you're showing this, that's something that is near to you, near to the subject. Okay. When you're using that, is like far from the subject. Okay, far from the subject. That's what you have. Okay. Good. All right. Let's move on. So,
Ashu, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
these are obviously very new words for me. So yes, I hear you saying those words, but when we're not doing this and I'm reading it, I guess for me it's about pronunciation and can I write it phonetically as a reminder?
Yes,
for
totally.
me.
So even right now, I'm writing it a little bit. It's not a pure Romanagri that I'm using. I'm using a broken Romanagri, so it makes sense when you're reading it. Even this thing, if you were to go very academically fashion, there is a certain way you will write it. But what you're trying to say is like, if I say yeah in a certain way, can I write it in English that way? Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying like as two syllables, is that correct? Whereas if I was to read that, I would just say yay.
So yeah, okay, I see your point. So this is.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'd be pronouncing it wrong when I'm practicing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So this is not ye, it's yeah, yeah. It's a one consonant followed by other consonant, yeah. But you're saying it fast and it becomes yeah, if it makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's practice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, awesome. Good question though. Good question.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Leanne, because I was going to ask the same question.
No, this is good.
Yeah.
See, that's my thing.
Confused.
Right? Yes. That's always my thing. Like if you have a question, most likely other people may have it as well. So it's okay to ask it, right?
Yeah, Sarah G put in the chat, which is a good point, because each of the Hindi consonants have a sound.
That's right.
So yeah, yaha.
Yeah. Awesome. How are you doing, Nitaji?
Mexico.
There you go. Why don't you help me with the next part, like which is basically what if I were to put kya in the beginning? So right now it's yeh. Let's say yeh kitab hai, which is book. This is a book. Yeh kitab hai. And now the question is, what if I were to put kya at the beginning? Does it also mean what, or does it change the
No, it's more saying, is this? It's a yes or no question if you put the kya in front.
So if you were to say, kya yeh kitab hai? So you had, the first question was.
Then you're saying, what is this book?
Yes. So the first one was, yeh kya hai?
Is this a book?
Yeh kya hai? What is this? Somebody responded, yeh kitab hai.
This is a book.
And then
this is saying, is this a book?
Is this a book? Very good. So when you put kya in the beginning, it is no longer what, it's really changing into a question, which is this a book? Is this a book? Okay. क्या ये किताब है? रीटा जी, क्या ये किताब है?
नहीं. या paper है.
Very good. नहीं, यह किताब नहीं है, यह पेपर है. यह पेपर है. Okay. I'm going to ask some more. क्या यह jigsaw puzzle है? And I'm going to ask this question to Keith. क्या यह jigsaw puzzle है?
हाँ जी.
हाँ जी, यह एक jigsaw puzzle है.
Yeah, jigsaw puzzle.
Awesome. Did you get your answer now, right? So basically,
yeah.
It changes. So it's no longer like, in Hindi, you're using kya for what, as well as changing the thing into a question. In English, it's basically you're using the to be form of the verb or the auxiliary verb to start the question, like is this a book, right? Versus in Hindi. Yeah.
एक minute. The first sentence is a statement.
That's right.
ये पुस्तक है.
That's
You're
right.
saying this is a book. That's a statement you're making.
Yes.
The second statement you're adding here, and you're asking a question: is this a book?
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. Any questions?
Not to confuse people, but pustak and kitab are both words for book.
Yes.
I use kitab. Some people use pustak.
So it's nothing but a book, but the other word is pustak.
Pustak is more Hindi and kitab is more Urdu.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep. So I know we will find a right balance in the beginners versus the intermediate advanced, but I do want to give you guys the flavor of, as you continue to move this journey, what will the advanced things look like to you? Like, so see yourself like, a year down the line, okay? And our existing advanced learner, like, Sarah Ji, she agreed to, because like before we started this year's class, we were still finishing up last year's sort of like the presentation toward the end of the year presentation. And so Sarah Ji, she agreed to finish her presentation and try to say it slowly. Sarah Ji, as you know, we have a lot of so give me 1 minute and I'm gonna, if you're okay, I'm gonna put a spotlight on you, right?
I think I should turn on my camera then. Hang on.
Give me 1 minute. And this is just again like not for everyone. As you are getting comfortable, as you're getting the confidence, it's for that. So give me 1 minute, and I'm going to make you ask to start here. And give me 1 minute. How do I make you? Okay, add spotlight. Okay, good. So we are sharing spotlight. Go for it.
ठीक है, तो नमस्ते सभी को। मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप सब बिल्कुल ठीक है और मजे में है। मेरा नाम है सैरा और आज मैं एक छोटी प्रस्तुति दूंगी जिसमें wow, I'm very nervous.
मैं nervous हूँ. Okay, that's what we should say.
जिसमें आप लोगों को 3 देशों के बारे में बताऊंगी और मैं इन देशों की यात्रा क्यों करना चाहती हूँ। So मैं धीरे धीरे बोलने की कोशिश करूंगी। तो मेरा सबसे पहला देश है फ्रांस और मैंने ये चुना है क्योंकि मैं फ्रांसीसी सीखना चाहती हूँ और मेरा जन्म लगभग 30 साल पहले नीदरलैंड में हुआ, लेकिन अब भी मुझे फ्रांसीसी नहीं आती और इस साल मैं इस बदलने की कोशिश करूंगी। अब तक मैं 2 बार फ्रांस गई। पहली बार थी जब मैं बहुत छोटी थी और मेरे माता पिता ने तय किया कि हम सब को डिज्नीलैंड पेरिस जाना चाहिए। मुझे इस यात्रा से बहुत कुछ याद नहीं है, सिर्फ कि मैं कैप्टन हुक की पीटर पैन कहानी से बहुत डर लग रही थी। Should have been मुझे actually, but that's my mistake. भविष्य में मैं फ्रांस में बोर्डो जाना चाहती हूँ और फ्रांसीसी सीखने के बाद मैं कुछ जगह अफ्रीका भी जाना चाहती हूँ और मैं उज़्बेकिस्तान भी की यात्रा करना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि मुझे ऐतिहासिक जगह बहुत पसंद है और इनमें शामिल इस्लामी ऐतिहासिक स्थान भी है। मेरे पिताजी ने कहा कि जब मैं अपनी पढ़ाई खत्म की है तो हम दोनों उज़्बेकिस्तान जाएंगे और सिल्क रोड एक्सप्रेस की गाड़ी लेने। मुझे ये विचार अच्छा लगता है क्योंकि जलवायु परिवर्तन एक बहुत बड़ा समस्या है और ट्रेन हवाई जहाज से लेना दुनिया और पर्यावरण के लिए बेहतर है। पिछले साल जलवायु परिवर्तन के समस्या की वजह से मेरी जापान जाने की इच्छा भी बढ़ गई। जापान में एक परंपरा है जो मोताई नाई कहते हैं। असल में ये एक वाक्य है जिसका मतलब अंग्रेजी में water waste है और विचार ये है कि हम अपने पुराने और नए चीजें की अच्छी तरह देखभाल करते हैं क्योंकि इस दुनिया में हर चीज कीमती है और आइए हम एक दूसरे से सीखते रहे और ऐसा महात्मा गांधी जी एक बार कहते थे, दुनिया हर किसी की नीड के लिए पर्याप्त है, लेकिन हर किसी की ग्रीड के लिए नहीं। बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much. That was great, amazing, fantastic, right? So it was pretty advanced one. So I hope with the way she was speaking, at least you got some of the tidbits, right? She was walking through her like journey of or the three places that she wants to sort of cover, and then she spoke about the climate change as well. So like naturally some of the vocabulary is very advanced, but rest assured, as we start in the journey, you will be able to, you will get into the hearing practice as well, because we will be covering some of the hearing session as well. Well, I'll speak slowly and you guys will have to listen to it and then try to see what is going on, right? Which will be much easier than following a Bollywood movie where you don't have any subtitles, right? So anyone else is ready and want to present? I want to make sure, because we are still in the setting up these sessions. If you need more time, you can do it in subsequent classes. That's not a problem. But if anyone is ready to do it now, this is your opportunity.
I am ready.
Okay, and give me 1 minute. Sheila ji, or was that?
My name is Inga.
Okay, Inga ji, give me 1 minute, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to put a spotlight on you.
Oh.
You okay with that, right?
Okay.
Give me 1 minute, okay? Inga.
Ashu Ji, she's under my name, JD.
Yeah, JD.
We
Okay.
we have share one.
Okay, there you go. All right, go for it.
Namaskar. मेरा नाम इंगा है और I am a beginner in Hindi. मैं वेस्ट वर्जीनिया में रहती हूँ, लेकिन जर्मनी से हूँ। मेरा परिवार एक छोटी सी गांव में रहता था। या अच्छा था क्योंकि वहाँ गाय और बगीचे थे, इसलिए हमारे पास दूध और सब्जियाँ थीं। जब मैं एक बच्ची और जवान औरत थी तो मैंने कई कहानियाँ लिखीं। मैं एक लेखिका बनना चाहती थी, लेकिन मैंने पैसों के लिए कुछ कंपनियों में काम किया। बाद में मैं वापस स्कूल गई और फिर मेडिकल स्कूल। जब मैं एक छात्र थी तब मैं न्यूजीलैंड के एक अस्पताल में कुछ काम किया। मुझे न्यूजीलैंड बहुत पसंद था। बाद में मैंने यूरोप में काम किया। मेरे कई अच्छे दोस्त थे, इसलिए मैं एक रोमांचक अमेरिकी आदमी से मिली। वह आदमी मेरा पति है, जैसे मेरे पति है। अब हम बहुत बोरी हैं और हम हिंदी सीखते हैं, लेकिन हमारे जानवर हमारे हिंदी नहीं समझते।
Amazing. That's so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your personal story, Ingaji. That's amazing, both of you. In the interest of time, we'll take all the other presentation in the subsequent classes. Again, like this is like whoever finishes it from the existing folks, you will get, I'm still have to compile all the certifications, but I'll email you all the certifications because you finished your presentation and you presented among your peers, right? I mean, that's the best validation that you can get, that you confidently shared it with your peers. Okay, we have 4 minutes left. I'll stick around after the class as well, just so that I can answer any of the questions you may have. I have a couple of announcements to make, so give me 1 minute and I'm gonna go over it. So as I said, like, you know, the practice session that we have, it's for everyone. Who only requirement is, as long as you've at least come once in the Hindi class, you know, you are fine. You don't have to come in all the classes. This is just a way to make sure we know you. And while as much as I want to keep it open for the entire internet, some validation is important, right? And we want to make sure that there is a legitimate interest in learning Hindi, right? And that's why we don't keep it open. The purpose is pretty clear. Like, you know, we don't share any other things, the Hindi learning stuff. So I'm going to share the link in the chat, so you know you can join the practice session. So give me 1 minute. I'm going to stop the broadcast. And the same thing for everyone who's watching on Facebook Live as well. You're welcome to join the live class as well. So